Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Are You Listening with Abigail. It's 4:30 when I'm recording this. It's pitch black outside. It is so dark, and I feel like I always want to give like cozy vibes, so I feel like I've got every side light on we can. And I feel like it's giving cozy. I'm feeling cozy. I feel like I'll have to go literally have a shower and get myself into bed after this. But I hope everyone is well. Hope everyone's having a lovely Sunday or whatever day you are listening to this on. I'm really excited for this episode. I know at the end of last week's episode, I mentioned roughly what I was going to be talking about in this episode. And I feel like out of any one that I have done so far, this is probably the one I'm most excited for. Before I get started, I want to say, and I know I say a big thank you pretty much at the beginning of every single episode every week, but Spotify Wrapped came out literally yesterday, and I could not believe the response and what the analytics when that came through. Like, I am 40, I think it was like 43, either 43 or 46 people's top podcast of the year. What do you mean? And like, I think it was something like 106 in the top 5 and then 143 in their top 10. Like, I cannot begin to express how grateful I am to have people consistently listening, and to even be in someone's top 10, even to be in one person's top 10, let alone like over 40 people's top podcast of the year. Like, what do you mean? So yeah, weirdly I woke up in a bit of a funk this morning, a bit of a shitty mood, and I did actually thought about the fact that I might not record this episode because I do feel like it needs to come from a place of real positive vibes and a really positive place. And I was a little bit worried if I came in with the wrong energy that it just wouldn't come across the way I wanted it to. So I did think about putting it off, and then throughout the day, like, I've been busy, I've got a lot of stuff done, and I just keep thinking back to, do you know what? There's 40 however many people, 43, 46, whatever it is, people that listen so consistently that I'm their number one podcast for the year. I need to make sure that I am coming with that energy, and I really feel like it turned my mood around. So yeah, I just want to say thank you. And yeah, I'm really excited to record this episode. So this episode, I'm basically going to give you a foolproof method of planning the best year of your life. And I know that this sounds very clickbaity, this sounds very cringe and something you'd find on TikTok, but like, genuinely, I think it is so important to plan the year ahead and visualize what you want for the year and things like that. I think it's really important, especially, like I said, next year I turn 30, and I know I keep saying it, but I want to go into it feeling really clear on what I want. And yeah, I kind of wanted to make it into an episode of what I'm going to be doing, and like an exact blueprint of what I am going to be doing that anyone listening can do too. So I've written more notes than usual because I don't want to miss anything. So anyone watching the visual, if I am looking down a lot, that is why. I'm not making eye contact. So yeah, I just kind of want you to think about how you plan for the year. Maybe you don't plan for your year. Maybe you've never planned for your year. Maybe you kind of partially plan for your year. And I just want you to sit and maybe listen to this episode and think, do you know what? I'm going to give this a go and just see what happens. So I don't want this to be like a dramatic new year, new me, because I fucking hate that. I really hate that. I want this to be more of a gentle way, a bit more of like intention over intensity of like new year, new me, all that sort of bullshit. So we're going in a lot more gentle, but still powerful, personally, I would say so. Because I do think that a lot of us do approach a new year with either like a real delusional optimism, which I don't always think that obviously delusion is a bad thing, but you do also have to be realistic of what you can achieve in a year while being optimistic. Or people just fully avoid and neglect the idea of planning ahead or just thinking what they want. And I don't know, like, neither of them actually help us create a life that feels really aligned. And I think the older I get and the more I'm on this earth and I've nearly been on this earth for 30 years. All I want to achieve is alignment and what aligns with me. So today I kind of want to walk you through what I'm basically going to call my foolproof year planning method. Please stick with me because it's going to sound like a lot of stuff, but it's literally, I'm going to walk you through it. So if you was going to do this, I want you to basically listen to the episode, or maybe listen to the episode first, make notes on exactly what I'm doing, and then do it yourself. Or you could listen to this while you're doing it, and we could basically do it together. So yeah, this is the exact system that I'm going to use, and I've made to make everything feel clearer, calmer, and more intentional for my year ahead. And well, going into a whole new part of my life, like I'm entering my 30s. And the best part of this is because, again, I think there's a lot of things out there that talk about this sort of thing and it's repeated over and over and over. I have backed it with some psychology, self-compassion, and a bit of romanticizing your life, because I do think that's really important. But yeah, I wanted to add some psychological fact to this, and I asked ChatGPT to basically, the way I wanted to plan it, I basically wanted to ask it, what is the cycle? Why is this psychologically going to make this plan work? So I just wanted it to be backed up with a bit of psychologically, God, it's been a long day, psychology and a bit of science. Right, so let's get into it. If you can't tell, I'm really excited about this because I actually was going to do this evening. I don't think I am going to do it this evening. I'm going to do it probably in the next few weeks. I would say please try and do it before the end of the year rather than jumping into January, the beginning of January, and then doing it. You want to enter January knowing exactly what you want to do already. I do think that if you leave it until January, you're not entering it in the aligned headspace that you want to be. So whether you do it at the beginning of December when you're listening to this, whether you do it before Christmas, whether you do it between Christmas and New Year, I don't care. You could sit in on New Year's Eve and sit and do this. I don't care as long as it is done before the 1st of January hits. That's the plan. So I have not done this for myself yet for this year, but I'm going to give you the foolproof method and then I will do it myself. So like I said, you can listen, do it with me, whatever. So, firstly, before we go into step one, we're going to set the scene. We're going to romanticize planning your night. Any clients of mine, anyone that knows me, if a client has ever come to me with a problem, I'll give you an example. I had a client the other week she's a regular client. I've known her for literally about 6 years. She's come to me consistently for 6 years. She's getting married next year. And I asked her how wedding planning is going. And she actually said to me, the big things are done. I'm really struggling to get the little things done. I'm not enjoying it. It feels like a chore. And I said to her to do this for that occasion as well. Same with friends who don't know what they want from life, feeling a little bit lost. Sit and do this. Not this method, but sit and do this. Set the scene first. I will tell anyone who's not feeling aligned with their life, sit and do this first. So, first thing we are not going to do, we're not going to sit at a kitchen table with your big ugly overhead light on, music blasting, or TV blasting like you're in a dentist waiting room while you're scribbling just a list of resolutions that you want to do for the year. Like, we're not going to do that. That's bullshit. No, we're not going to do that. We are going to romanticize the shit out of this. You're going to think of your perfect evening and do it. For me, let me give you mine. I'm going to run a bath. Actually, firstly, I'm going to go to M&S. I'm going to get some yummy food. I'm going to get some picky bits, or I'm going to order some sushi. Whatever food I'm fancying, what is my fave for the evening, I'm going to do that first. Then I'm going to run a bath. I'm going to soak in the bath. I'm going to scrub my tan off. I'm not going to wash my hair because that is not my idea of a perfect night. Scrub tan off. Get out the bath. Do my skincare. Fake tan. Put a face mask on. Put some cosy clean PJs on. We're going to turn all the lights off other than all the side lights and the Christmas tree. Things like that. I'm going to light my favourite candle that smells like our dream life. We're going to make a little mocktail. I mean, you can make a cocktail if you like. I don't really drink, so I'm going to make a mocktail. Or I'm going to get myself a trip drink, which is my fave. Or make a tea, peppermint tea. We're going to play some soft music. If you can't hear in the background, let me go silent for a second, see if we can hear it. Maybe you can hear it. On YouTube, there are some really beautiful ambience videos, right? Of like a cabin in the woods, of a really cozy room with Christmas lights on, and it's got like this background jazz kind of music, just nice vibes. We're going to put one of them on. We are going to treat this as if we're on a date with ourselves, with our future selves actually, with our future selves. And this isn't stupid. This isn't silly. It may sound silly if you've never done something like this before. I get it. But again, I'm coming to you with psychological facts. Thank you, ChatGPT. When you create a ritual around something like this, your brain forms a positive association with it. So it makes you far more likely to follow through with it later. That's why. Your brain basically is going like, oh, planning equals dopamine and calm. We like this, we're going to do this. That's the science of it. So that's what we're going to do. Whatever your dream evening is, I mean, that's my dream evening. Like I said, I'm not going to wash my hair because that would just make me feel stressed as hell. Maybe in the day before you do it, you've put some clean bed sheets on. You know, some really nice things that just make you feel really, really good. So that's what we're going to do first. That is, we're setting the scene. If you can do it with no one else in, even better. Like, God love our partners. God love our puppies. But if you can do it alone, even better. If you can't, I totally understand. But if you can, extra points. Step 1. And this is the worst bit. Please stick with me. We're going to audit the year that has just happened. But gently. Really gently. Before we plan forward, we need to look back. We are doing it with softness. We're not doing it with shame. I feel like 2025 was a rough year for a lot of us. I saw a TikTok the other day that was just basically like, oh, what the fuck was 2025? I'm here with you, sis. Some of it was the most amazing parts of my life. Some of it was the most god-awful of my life. And I feel like everyone feels like that. I'm going to give you some bullet points. Please write these down. If you are listening to this in the car, please don't. And like I said, maybe come back to this when you're actually going to do it and I can talk you through it as you do it. But these are some bullet points. Number 1, what actually made me proud this year? What did you do that made you really proud? And it could be anything. It doesn't have to always be kind of work associated. It can be work associated. That's important. Friendships, hobbies, fitness, mental health, anything. What made me proud? Write a big list. Anything that comes to mind that your brain goes, yeah, I was proud of that. Write it down. Number 2, when did I feel my happiest and most myself? Again, list as many as you like. Number 3, what drained me? What didn't feel good? What didn't work? Number 4, what habits helped? What did I pick up that helped? And again, this could literally be anything. Journaling. It could be putting my phone down before bed. It could be going to the gym 3 times a week. And literally anything. And it could be tiny things. Having a tea before bed. I had a peppermint tea most nights before bed. That helped me. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which habits sabotaged me? What habits did you pick up that you know for a fact did not help at all and sabotage your dream self or the way you wanted your year to go? And number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, sorry. What am I carrying that I'm ready to put down? What am I carrying still that I'm ready to let go of? This apparently is called metacognition, something like that. I can't pronounce the word properly, but this is the psychology. I'm really sorry if I'm tripping over my words. This is the psychology that backs up what this is. This is helping think about how you think. It helps you recognise your patterns so you can stop reliving the same year over and over. And this is your chance to lovingly gather data on yourself. So this is, like I said, that's that might not be so nice. Obviously the proud stuff, like what am I proud of? Lovely. But of course there is going to be some things there that are going to be really hard, but it's important to look at them. Number 2, we're going to look at the 6 pillars of life. So we're going to break the year. So with the audit we have just done, we're then going to break down the year that we had into 6 categories. So our brain doesn't spiral trying to think of everything at once. So yes, in the first step we've audited, we've looked at what we're proud of, all of that. They've all this kind of brain dump into 1 year of like an audit of our year 2025. Then we're going to list down number 1, mental and emotional, 2, physical, 3, relationships, 4, career and business, 5, financial, that is not the same as career and business, 6, fun and identity. For each of them, we're going to be really specific. So using the audit we've already done, we're going to write down all our wins for each category, all the challenges that we've had, write all the things we want more of and what fell off. So the things that felt good then fell off. This means that our brains love structure, right? So being able to divide our life into buckets, it becomes manageable so we can actually have a look. Then suddenly we're not thinking, oh my God, our whole life's a mess. We can see our wins, we can see what worked, we can see what didn't. And then we can go, okay, so this is the one area that's asking for attention. So you may look at it and go, actually, physical, I didn't have things that didn't really work. Everything I did worked really, really well. So there was a bit, physical was a tick for that. But you may look at your financial aspect of 2025 and go, oh, actually, I didn't have that many wins for that. So that is what's going to need my attention. So this is where it makes it very, very clear as to what needs our attention going into 2026. And obviously, all 6 of them are going to need attention, but some are more than others. With that, step 3, we're going to choose our big 3 for 2026 using the audit we did in step 1. The step 2, the 6 pillars, and what definitely worked and what didn't work. We're going to choose 3 of them categories to go into 2026 with. Again, that is not to say that we are not going to look at the other 3, but the 3 that we are looking at are the ones that need our attention, the ones that didn't have that many wins, the ones that you didn't feel that proud of. They are the ones we're going to go, right, that is what is important. And this is where the magic happens. Like I said, the 3 of them are going to define our 2026. These are going to be our priorities, our non-negotiables. And if nothing else happens but this, then you can still feel proud of yourself. That's the sort of goals. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't mean the other parts aren't going to matter. It just means that these are the ones that are going to get the most energy. Now, obviously, if you was to look at all of them and you was like, career and business, I didn't have that many wins, but you know that career and business are not something you want to make as much of a priority in 2026, don't make it one of your top 3. I know this might sound confusing, but you have got to do what works for you. Ideally, you want to do the 3 that are slacking, but if your career or a business isn't a priority for 2026, totally fine. You will still be able to, take a look at it, set some goals for it, but don't make it one of your top 3 then. That's totally fine. This is your year, remember. I'm giving you a blueprint. This is still your year at the end of the day. So, the psychology, again, of this is fewer goals equals higher success. So when you try 10 things at once, you're going to change absolutely nothing. But when you choose 3, you can keep the momentum. So your big 3 is going to set your tone for your whole year. So for example, you may say mental and emotional is going to be a big one for the year. Financial maybe is going to be your big one, and fun and identity. And like I said, doesn't mean the others aren't important, but these are going to be the ones you are really, really honing in on and focusing on. So with them big 3, you want to then set some really realistic goals. You are going to want to set, goal habits that you can keep. If it's physical fitness is going to be one of the big ones. You want to set goals that are really achievable. So physical, I want to physically maybe work on my cardio. So maybe you want to start running. So maybe your goal at the beginning of the year is to run twice a week, run on the treadmill twice a week. And that will be the goal. That will be a habit. Set the day you're going to do it and then just keep that. So you want to then set your goals. I can't tell you what your goals are going to be. From your big 3, set yourself some goals and go from there. Number 4, we're then going to do a 3-month check-in. So this part is really important. Every 3 months, not daily, not weekly, not overwhelmingly all the time, you're going to revisit the big 3 every 3 months. You're going to then ask yourself, what progress have I made? Have I stuck to the habits that I chose? Have I continued to do what I said I was going to do? How am I tracking this? And is that tracking working? I don't know, you may get yourself a star chart and every time you go to the gym, you stick a little star on. Amazing. But you need to then have a look at, is the way I'm tracking this actually working? And have I made progress in the 3 months, or do I need to change some stuff? What are some tiny wins I can celebrate? Maybe you did run once a week and that was your aim. Amazing. That is, I say a tiny win, that's a big win. But you want to celebrate every single win. What needs adjusting? What is not working? Maybe you set yourself, I'm going to get up at 5:45, 3 days a week to go to the gym. And maybe you haven't been doing that. 5:45 is just too early. Maybe you need to go after work instead. What needs adjusting? And then what can I set as my next 3 months or 90-day intention? So reset the goals that you set before. Take a look at what's working and what's not. Readjust and then set yourself the new intention. Now, there is a word here, this has been written again, ChatGPT has done me really well. There is an effect, and this actually is why it works. I cannot pronounce it. It is spelled ZEIGARNIK effect. So it basically says that your brain stays focused on things that you haven't finished. So you're having regular check-ins help keeps your goals open loops so you can naturally pay attention to them. 3 months is a sweet spot to stay focused without feeling suffocated. If you were to look every single week, you would feel overwhelmed. If you were to look every single month, you'd feel overwhelmed. 3 months is a really sweet spot and enough time to see progress on whatever it is that you were trying to make progress on. Step 5. So yes, that is something you're going to do every 3 months. We're going to come back to that. Step 5, we're going to build our ideal week. Now, I love this part so much. You are going to design a blueprint of your ideal week with these new intentions. So it's not your perfect week, it's your ideal week and your aligned week. So you want to include your actual work routines. So if you have a 9 to 5, you need to make sure you write in every day. I leave at 8:15 in the morning and I will not get home from work until 6:30. Write them in. You want to put in your time for movement and your health. So write in the days you're going to go to the gym. I'm going to go to the gym every single Monday morning at 6:30 in the morning. I am going to do a reformer class every single Thursday morning at 9 a.m. I am going to go for a long walk every single Friday after work. Put them in, write them in. You're going to also put in your social time. This could be with your partner, this could be with family, this could be with friends. Now, I know that it's going to be different every single week, but maybe it will be you are going to put social time every single Saturday morning, every single Saturday evening, or every single Friday evening. Now, this doesn't mean you need to see your friends that amount of time every single week. It could be on a Friday evening every week, I'm going to set aside time for social time, whether that is with my boyfriend, whether that's with my sister, whether that's with my family, whether that's with my friends. You write that in. Alone time. This is really important. I love my alone time. Schedule in alone time. Every single Sunday morning, I'm going to get up and go for a walk by myself for an hour. I'm going to leave my boyfriend in bed with the puppy and I'm going to go for a walk and have some alone time. Luckily for me, I get a lot of alone time because my schedule is what I set it, so I can put that in. I appreciate it's a lot harder when you work a 9 to 5, so it's really important to put it in. And that could be doing a gym class. So that gym class you do, that reformer class you do on a Saturday morning, that could be your alone time. Fine. Time for hobbies. If you've got any hobbies you really enjoy, write that in. On a Thursday evening after work, I am going to go and do a pottery class. Amazing. Write it in. Then rest. Days you are not going to go to the gym, days you are not going to do that, write them in. I'm going to give myself a lane until 7 a.m. on a Tuesday and a Thursday. Lovely, whatever. Admin time, if you need admin time, and most people that's going to be life admin. If you run your own business, then set that in. If you don't work Mondays, maybe set that in as your time. If it is life admin, washing, cleaning, things like that, write in when you are going to do it in the week. And then creative time, whatever the hell that means. For me, podcast. Thursday at 3 p.m, I'm going to record my podcast every single week. That is my creative time. Now, this works because it reduces decision fatigue when you're going to do it. Oh, when am I going to do that? You know exactly when you're going to work out, when you're going to rest, when you're going to see people, when you're going to focus, and you're no longer going to spend your mental energy negotiating with yourself or feeling guilty for not doing things because they're written in your diary, and you are not going to let them change. It's not about micromanaging your life. It's about creating a flow that you do over and over and over and over. Our brains love that shit. Step 6, this is going to be your emotional safety plan. I appreciate this sounds like a lot, but once you have done this once, you do not need to go over this. The only bit you need to go over is every 3 months as you re-go over, you realign. Is this working? Is this not? Step 6, your emotional safety plan. This is your when shit gets real plan. I wish I fucking had this, excuse my French, had this year. I wish I did. And I feel like a lot of you will probably say the same. Think, and I know this is going to be hard for people, what triggers me? What sends me into a spiral? What helps me come back to myself? Who can I reach out to? What grounding tools actually work for me? Not, I've seen journaling works. Okay, but if it doesn't work for you, it's not going to work. Don't use it. Grounding techniques. It could be anything. For me, having a slower evening, just slowing down naturally is grounding for me. And I have done it in the last few weeks and I feel like it works. This is backed by emotional regulation research that when you plan setbacks before they happen, you handle them calmly instead of reactively. And it's like creating a safety net for your future you. So like I said, what triggers me? If you know what triggers you, I know what triggers me is the house being a mess. Is the house being dirty? I know that triggers me. So I'm going to get ahead by planning in my week when I'm going to do my reset. So when I then come into a Monday and I come home from work on a Monday or a Tuesday really late, I'm then not triggered and I'm not spiraling basically because I know that the house is reset, clean, done, tidy. What helps you come back to yourself? Like I said, slowing down for me, grounding, whatever works for you, and be really honest with yourself. Like I said, don't be like, well, I saw someone meditate and maybe that will work. If meditation doesn't work for you, do not write that in. So yeah, that's going to be your emotional safety plan for the times, and it helps you stay on track because then you will have less issues. Obviously you can't control everything, you can't, but we're going to try and keep ourselves as grounded as we can. Step 7, your guiding word. So finally, I know I keep saying I love each bit. I love this. Every year I do a vision board. And on top of this, I'm going to tell you to do a vision board for the following year because this is planning for our year, but a vision board is big goals, things you want to achieve, whatever. Like that's different, right? Do yourself a vision board and then choose a word or phrase that becomes an anchor for the year. It could be literally anything. My word for last year or this year, we're in 2025 right now. My word for this year was balance. I knew I wanted more balance for the year between work and life. Did I achieve that? Yes, I did. I definitely achieved more balance in my life. You know, I didn't have balance the whole time. There's definitely work to be done. But work-life balance, did I achieve it? Yes, I did. So I'll give you some examples. Ease, expansion, wholeness, rest, confidence, abundance. Or if you want a phrase instead, I choose myself. This is my becoming year. I'm going to be more grounded this year. Whatever you want to do. This works because it acts as a mental filter. So when you do your vision board, wherever the hell you do it, do your vision board, stick this word really big, smack bang in the middle of it. Mine has been my iPad background since the beginning of the year, and so I look at it every single day. I look at all of the things I wanted to achieve because all my goals are there, and I have my word. If you want to print it out, put it on your wall, whatever you want to do, put it as your phone screensaver, put it as your laptop screensaver. Stick this word smack bang in the middle so it's the word you look at every day. When you are faced with a choice, you can then simply ask, does this align with my word of the year? Really simple, clear, powerful. So I love that. Right, that is what you're going to do. You're going to do all of them. Is it going to take a while? Yeah, it is. Like I said, if you set yourself a really nice evening to do it, it will feel really nice. It shouldn't feel overwhelming. If you have had a bad day and you go, I'm going to set myself to do that on that evening, and you've had a bad day or woke up on the wrong side of the bed like I did this morning, I'm not going to do it this evening because I'm not in the right headspace. So really be intentional with the day you're going to do it on. Make it a nice day. Make it a ritual. Whether it's a Saturday, you have a really nice Saturday and then you do it Saturday evening. Whenever you want to do it, I don't care. But make sure it is a really nice day. So, the year you are planning doesn't need to be perfect. These are a few reminders. It doesn't need to be aesthetic. Doesn't need to look like TikTok. Doesn't need to look like anyone else's. It just needs to feel aligned, intentional, and supportive to the version who you want to become and the life you want to achieve. Like I said, take your time with this. Make it cozy, make it gentle, make it yours. Don't be like, everyone's having kids next year. Like next year, a lot of people are going to have a baby. A lot of people are getting married. So that's what I want. No, I don't want you to do that. I want you to be really realistic about what you can achieve next year. This isn't a 5-year plan. This is a year plan. And like I said, this is different from planning your goals for the year. This is just your habits. What's going to make you feel good, aligned and grounded. Yeah? So, if 2026 is your year, it's because you chose it to be that way. Yeah? With that being said, I hope that all made sense. I hope that I can hear Cornelius waking up. So this is perfect timing to finish. I hope this is very clear. I really hope that everyone listened to this is feeling a little bit motivated, is like, do you know what, actually, fuck yeah, I'm going to do that. I will also make this into, maybe I'll make this into some like post, a carousel of some kind, so it's written down for anyone that is listening to this and is like, oh, I'd really like a written down version of this. Maybe I'll do something so it's easier to go through. But I'm really excited to hear what everyone thought of this episode, if everyone is going to do it. Like I said, I'm going to do it. I'm not sure when. At the moment, I'm thinking it might be between Christmas and New Year. I would love to do it before Christmas if I can, but I do think that it might end up being between Christmas and New Year when I'm not working. But otherwise, I hope everyone enjoyed this episode. Like I said, I've been really excited about this because I really love, I do a bit of coaching in my business, and I do feel like I am good at this, personally. Cornelius is very awake, so I need to go. So thank you all for listening. If you're listening on Spotify, please like, review, subscribe, do all that good stuff. If you are listening on YouTube, please do all the same. Send this to anyone you think will need it. Send this to anyone you think would like it. And yeah, please let me know if you're going to do this, if you've done it, how you're feeling. I'd love feedback, things like that. But otherwise, I will see you all in the next episode. Bye, guys.